Alright, hello, welcome. I'm just finishing up something here. I spend more time connecting my broker to TradingView than trading. So many things. I'm sorry, I'm losing interest in this very quickly. I have no viewers, which is understandable. I've done nothing to gain more viewers except stream every day. Anyway, this is Premarket Wake Up. My name's Frank. The community is called No More Paper Trading. I created a community. I was sick of looking for information, trying to get information from other traders, and being met with nothing but paywalls for the simplest things, or scams to outright, I'm going to make work easier for you magically. Why don't I do that for myself? Well, I don't know. Don't ask too many questions. At this point, maybe you've learned those who can't trade teach for money. The great teachers out there, not the great teachers, the great traders out there, they'll teach people, but it's going to be second fiddle to their trading. If you really know how to trade, well, first of all, that's a very personal thing. Being that good at a certain skill, it can't really be taught to just anyone. Everybody is a conglomeration of thousands of factors. So you can't just make a system and expect people to be able to do that same system. It's just, I don't know. And it all falls apart as soon as you look at a trader who sells signals. Because with just $100, if you have a signal that really does work, you could turn $100 exponentially into hundreds of thousands a lot quicker than you can sell the signals. Unless I'm wrong, unless I'm missing something. Maybe there is no such thing as trading. Maybe it is just people skimming money off of each other. Alright, that's it. That's over. Let's get through with this. Alright, I'm going to start with the news. Today's a big day, if you weren't aware. Then I'm going to go into the overnight moves and what I think's going to happen today. Which today, I don't know. It's a coin toss. I don't think I'll be trading at all. I think it might be a bad idea. Alright. As you can see, we got the federal interest rate decision at 2 o'clock this afternoon, followed by the press conference at 2:30. Three things can happen. They do what is expected, which is a rate cut. And the markets do whatever they do. I don't know what's priced in right now. I mean, one cut, a quarter point is priced in for sure. But is the market really pricing in a half a point? Or is there too much hope? I don't know. I think people will be more suspicious about December because that probability's come down. They'll be looking for what they say about December and January, which are both down as far as probability of another cut. What else do we have today? Not much, really. Bank of Canada, some stuff. They're doing their interest rate decision as well, which, yeah, well. Oh, yeah. Trump and Xi are meeting, I guess. I thought that was in November. What do I know? I don't care. Let's take a look at earnings. Earnings are big too. This week is insane. Today is Wednesday. Before the open, which usually they release before 8:30. I'll check on that maybe a little bit. I'll see the headlines. That'll give you an idea of how good these earnings were. But after the close are the big ones. You got Meta, Microsoft, Alphabet. I don't know why Chipotle is next after Alphabet. Is that how it is? It's like Alphabet's the top company, and then right below them is dealers in diarrhea medicine. All right, and then tomorrow there's big ones as well after the close. And then Friday before the open, you have oil giants. Yeah, we'll see. So far this week they've been good. Well, maybe they've been good. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track. But what I have been keeping track of is I look at stocks making all-time new highs. Specifically stocks with low PEs. But I take a look at all of them. And there really haven't been many. Despite the markets making all-time new highs. Just the ES, the NQ, the Russell's not. The Dow's kind of getting there. So the Dow might be a measure of how well the earnings are. But the reality still is that our market's being propped up by really large AI companies. So the bubble will burst at some point. But bubbles can last a really long time. They can last longer than a person's sanity. All right, let's just check some headlines. Great. I don't know. How does the world's biggest clown become one of the richest men in the world? I mean, maybe that's all part of the act. I don't know. I used to think CEOs, executives were really good at what they do, but I honestly start thinking it's a club. And to get into the club, you gotta sell a part of your soul. There still are very talented CEOs out there, but they get overlooked for politics or optics more than anything. Let's see their 5 things to know before the market opens. Major indices on pace to add to record highs. Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, my stocks are doing well, but that can change in an instant. The 10th was rough. I still made money. And I guess I gained it back now anyway. But that can happen at any moment. That can happen in the blink of an eye. And it just sucked. But expect that more as the government claws its way into business, which goes against everything this country was based on. We need a libertarian president, a real libertarian president. But that's just my opinion. Number 2, Federal Reserve expected to cut interest rate. But like I said earlier, they're expecting this one now, so it's not a big deal. You'll see some volatility in price, but you won't, unless there's a big surprise, which I don't think there will be. People will most likely be looking at what he says about December. What they all say about December. Number 3, Nvidia poised to hit 5 trillion market cap. Yeah, the farce continues. Number 4, Microsoft, Google, Meta earnings. So, yeah, it's all stuff we already talked about. Caterpillar shares rise. That could be part of the what was the housing news I saw recently? I'll look that up quick. Oh yeah, the mortgage rates dropped to the lowest level in over a year. So a bunch of people are refinancing. I guess that's a good thing. They're less likely to get underwater. But that also means inflation's going to keep going up. But that could see a boom in house building, which therefore would see a bit of a boom in equipment sales, equipment rentals, which is what Caterpillar is in the business of. See, these are the things I miss when looking at news, but a person can only spend so much time. I choose to spend my time working on dumb things, futures, and strategies, and spreadsheets. All right, that's it for the news. Let's take a look at the overnight moves. ES not really moving up as much as the NQ. Oops, I didn't switch over. Hold on one sec. Price was not able to get over yesterday's high, but also was not able to go lower than yesterday's open, which is kind of a bullish sign. Right now we're sitting at near yesterday's high. I have a look on the daily. You can see this trajectory. I have a strategy that catches moves in the SPY. And this right here screws it up. when you have stuff like this. But I tested it thoroughly and I accounted for those types of things. Even during COVID and all that, strategy would still make money. But it's just a lesson as a trader. If you're not going to trust the things you build, the ideas you put out there, then why even do it? I have to remind myself of that type of thing when my trades are really profitable in the moment. And if I see a bit of red before I get a signal from my strategy, I panic a bit. Oh, by the way, I'm selling the signal for $29.99 if you join the Discord. No, that's a joke. I'm not sharing that with anyone, but I will share my knowledge. All right, moving on. NQ. NQ rising a bit more. In fact, I missed this awesome trade. I missed these several awesome trades last night. Despite a bear signal in RSI, it was pretty clear the price was not going to go lower than yesterday's close in the NASDAQ. But I don't know. I was tired. I traded for 6 hours in the morning and then I worked another 7 hours. It's hard. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at the daily. I'm not going to make predictions going into today because of the type of day it is. You know how it works. If there's a surprise and they don't cut and the markets crash, or something else happens, or Trump cancels the meeting suddenly, we go to war with China, whatever. You know it's going to crash hard and it's going to stop somewhere at a pivot point, last month's close, somewhere down below, somewhere random maybe, who knows. If we go higher, again, we stop when we run out of steam. I'm not yet great at predicting price levels in the no man's land. It's on my list. All right, let's take a look at the Russell. Completely different picture for the Russell. Overnight mostly flat, staying below yesterday's close. A possibility that it will break it today. I think I can make some predictions with the Russell a bit more, being that we are not in no man's land with it. Maybe that should be my rule. I should trade when I don't feel comfortable trading the NASDAQ or the ES or other equity futures at all-time highs. I can go to those that are not at all-time highs, that I can scalp effectively. I drew these lines, but I'm not so sure I really believe in them that much. I'll keep them there though, just to see. Those aren't really trend lines as much as like a triangle pattern. But if we do rise, look out for R1 pivot point. And then a huge area of resistance above there. I'd wait for, if we do shoot to the moon a bit, I would wait for pullbacks. If there isn't any, well, you should have gotten in a lot earlier in a long-term trade, or just don't trade it. That is the biggest mistake that beginners make, and I still make that mistake. You see these candles, you see all the money, and you think it must go up more. And then the second you get in, it pulls back to a random level. And that's why it's all just kind of random volatility. A lot of trading is about trading during the comfortable volatility levels. All right, let's take a look at the Dow. The 5-minute on the Dow. The overnight most of the night was not able to get above yesterday's close until around 6:30 a.m. I don't know why. It's starting at 5:30. I think the same thing happened the night before. Yes, it did. I think, when does the pre-market open? Anyway, I forget some of the major names that are part of the Dow. I meant to make a list of that. Amazon's part of it. Honeywell, Microsoft. Wait, I thought it was industrials. Or is it just the 30 largest companies? I should really know more about this. But again, I'm mostly technical. So there's banks. IBM is still in there. Johnson & Johnson. I thought they dropped Johnson & Johnson. American Express, Boeing, 3M. I think 3M's the only industrial. Procter & Gamble, kind of industrial. Caterpillar is. So that's what's fueling this, is Caterpillar. I don't think Nvidia's in here yet. Oh yeah, they are. Well, that just shows you the state of this country. We used to be an industrial superpower, now we're inventing hype. All right. Again, I don't have much predictions for the Dow, except look out for yesterday's high. We're getting there pretty soon. If we drop lower, look at yesterday's close. Nothing else really in here. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's been Actually on a bit of a recovery right now. We'll see what happens. Gold was able to get past yesterday's close in the overnight. Is that the close? No, that's yesterday's. Did I mess up? No, that's yesterday's close. No, it's not. I did mess that up. Okay, something's screwed up here. So my charts have TradingView listing yesterday's close at 3983.1, but on the 5-minute chart it's listed at 3970. Why? I thought I had settlement as close. Yeah? Alright, sanity check. Let's go to the source here. Wait, what is going on? Month, okay. Tuesday, settlement. MGCZ. So yeah, I'm on December. 3983.1. How did they get that? I thought 1615 was settlement. I don't know. I don't know who to ask about that either. Maybe well, let's check the other ones while we're at it. Let's check the ES. $69.24. $69.25.75. I'm thinking here. I'll have to look up again how they figure out settlement. Because I'm thinking, when do they release the settlement numbers? Is it immediate? These are all questions I have to ask now. Give me 1 sec when I write these down. Because I'm thinking, could that be a sign? So imagine this. Let's go back to gold. Settlements listed. At, for gold it was listed at 3983.1. That's quite a lot more than 1615, 4:15 p.m. close, which was at 3970. Is that a sign that the overnight's going to be higher? As money managers put in their orders? I don't know. The first candle was green, but then the second candle was quite bloody before recovering. I don't know, I'm going to have to figure that out then. Let's move on to oil. I got a lot of work to do. Oil mostly flat. A large drop yesterday in the overnight. But tonight it's mostly been flat. I don't want to make any predictions because who knows what's going to happen today. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got today. Nobody's watching anyway. I will not be streaming tomorrow or Thursday. Tomorrow or Friday. All right, good luck. Goodbye.